This is a gentle story for children and families. A story about kindness, quiet courage, and a small light that made a big difference. This is the story of the lantern that never went out. In a small, peaceful village, surrounded by hills and tall trees, there stood an old stone bridge. Each evening, as the sun slipped behind the hills, a single lantern on the bridge would glow warmly. Its light reflected softly on the river below, guiding the village into night. The village felt calm, safe, still. As night settled over the village, the lantern shone more clearly than before. Its warm glow spread across the stone bridge, steady and calm. The river moved quietly beneath it, and distant house lights flickered softly in the dark. The lantern did not flicker. It did not fade. Somewhere, someone had taken care to light it. Most of the village slept, trusting the familiar light without a second thought. But from a small window nearby, a boy was watching. His name was Theo. Night after night, he noticed how the lantern never failed, always lit, always waiting, and a quiet question began to form in his mind. Who lights the lantern? The next day, Theo asked the villagers. The baker smiled and shrugged. The farmer shook his head. Even the oldest villagers simply said, "It has always been that way." Theo listened carefully, but the answers did not satisfy him. The lantern remained a mystery. That evening, dark clouds gathered over the village. Theo stood by his window, waiting, but the lantern did not glow. The bridge remained dark, quiet, still. For the first time Theo could remember, something felt wrong. Something is wrong. Theo stood very still. He did not feel afraid, only concerned. If the lantern was not lit, someone might need help. He wrapped his coat around himself and picked up a small candle. Without waking anyone, Theo stepped quietly into the night. As Theo reached the bridge, he saw someone sitting nearby. An elderly woman rested on a stone bench, leaning gently on her walking stick. The lantern above them remained unlit. The woman looked up and smiled softly. "I have lit this lantern for many years," she said, "but tonight, my legs grew tired." Theo stepped forward without hesitation, holding his candle carefully. He reached up and placed the flame inside the lantern. Slowly, the lantern began to glow. Warm light spread across the bridge, across the water, and into the night. Theo felt something new inside his chest. Not excitement, not pride. Morning came quietly to the village. Villagers crossing the bridge noticed the lantern, clean and steady. Theo walked beside the elderly woman, helping her across. People smiled. They nodded. They understood. The lantern had not lit itself. Morning came quietly to the village. Villagers crossing the bridge noticed the lantern, clean and steady. Theo walked beside the elderly woman, helping her across. People smiled. They nodded. They understood. The lantern had not lit itself. That evening, Theo was not alone on the bridge. Villagers stood together, each helping in small ways. When the sun set, the lantern was lit once more, not by magic, but by care. And from that night on, the lantern never went out again. Because sometimes, the most important lights in the world stay on, not because they are magical, but because someone chooses to care. Good night.